Since space travel will soon become a fact, the most logical thing is to create a hotel around the Earth's orbit for those who want to prolong their experience. Space has always had its fans, but their number has continued to grow rapidly in recent years. More and more people dream of seeing even a small part of the universe around us with their own eyes. Modern people are tempted by the possibility of living in space, and even if only with your imagination. However, the Foundation Gateway has announced its very real plans to build the world's first space hotel, which is expected to be visited by at least 100 tourists a week in 2025. The von Braun space station is named after rocket engineer Wernher von Braun. Braun's biography is controversial. At the beginning of his career, he was associated with the Nazi Party, but as a good specialist, he was appointed director of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. The space station, named after him, will be assembled on site by robots and drones. The design of the station was entrusted to the designer Tim Alator, who was inspired by some ideas of von Braun himself, dating from the 50s of the last century. Voyager is a huge ring with a diameter of 200 meters, which when turned into a certain angle creates a perfect gravity. The residential hotel is designed to increase the force of gravity of Moon. The width of the station is 20 meters. The Voyager project was presented by the Urban Assembly Company, OAS. The construction of the extraterrestrial hotel has been announced for 2025, and at the latest after 5 years, it should start accepting its first guests. It is expected that by 2027, everything will be ready. The project is commercial, and it is clear that Vogue will be able to carry out nightly research. It'll be extremely chic for future prospects. The square itself is connected to the pipes at right angles, which play the floor as well as on spokes, as well as on ridges. Guests will pay not only for the innovative concept, there will be a variety of facilities, including thematic treatments, spa, fitness halls, libraries, and libraries. Part of this giant station will be the premises for the crew, for the provision of electricity, air, and water. Voyager will make one tour of the Earth every 90 minutes. The founder of Orbital Assembly Suration believes the next industrial revolution will begin with Voyager. At the beginning, a prototype of the Voyager with a diameter of 61 meters will be created. The work that will assemble the residential station has been patented. The prototype will be used to test various technologies, to verify proposed theories, and to conduct experiments, such as the accumulated information that will be used to build the original Voyager station. In order to cover the financing, Orbital Assembly Corporation offers 4 million shares at a price of 25 cents per share. The total cost is $1 million, and this is only one small part of the price of the whole project. As of today, a 1-pound utility with the help of Falcon 9 costs $2,000. If it's replaced with Starship, the price is already $200 for 1 kilogram of useful goods. The total amount of Voyager is about 2,500 tons, and in both cases, the price of the component is solid, $5 billion with F9C. In addition, financial resources are required for the development, for the implementation of the necessary experiments, for the creation of the prototype, and so on. Given that Voyager is positioned as the world's first orbital hotel, it would be interesting to understand the cost of a vacation in space, especially given that this is a commercial project and the investment must be recouped. As of today, the price of a private flight in space is around $250,000, and this space holiday will hardly be cheap. No details have been revealed about the cost of building the space station or the cost of an overnight stay at the hotel. Although, according to the OAC, the cost of building is declining thanks to reusable launch vehicles such as the SpaceX Falcon 9 and the future Starship. Among the ideas for using the orbital station is the possible purchase of one of the modules 20 by 12 meters for a private villa or multiple modules to create a hotel with a spa, cinema, and more. Government agencies could use the station to create their own science module or as a training center for astronauts preparing to go to Mars. The Voyager class is described as a rotating space station designed to produce different levels of artificial gravity by increasing or decreasing the speed of rotation. The visualizations for the station present it as 2 concentric structural rings fixed together. The inner ring will be a docking hub, while the outer one will be the backbone of the station and will provide installation for habitable modules, solar panels, radiators, and a rail transport system. Structures of different sizes will be attached to them, and each of them will have its own purpose. The Space Hotel will not only welcome tourists, because it'll be extremely important for the National Space Agency's conducting research with low gravity. The company that has embarked on this ambitious project is Orbital Assembly Corporation, OAC, and plans to start construction of the Space Hotel in 2025, and the first guests should be able to go to it in 2027. OAC is known for its aspirations to colonize space, and the realization of the Voyager class will provide a similar opportunity. Space.com recalls that the OAC was created by the Gateway Foundation, a foundation founded by John Blinkoff in 2012 to create the first spaceport. Renderings of what the hotel might look like suggest an interior not dissimilar to a luxury Earthbound hotel, just with some pretty spectacular, out-of-this-world views. When the initial designs premiered a couple of years ago, Tim Alatorre, senior design architect at Orbital Assembly Corporation, told the hotel's aesthetic was a direct response to the Stanley Kubrick movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, which he called almost a blueprint of what not to do. Instead, Alatorre and his team want to bring a slice of Earth to space via warm suites and chic bars and restaurants. Guests might be in space, but they can still enjoy regular beds and showers. That's not to say the hotel will ignore the novelty of being in space altogether. There are plans to serve traditional space food, like freeze-dried ice cream, in the hotel's restaurant. Plus, there will be recreational activities on offer that highlight the fact that you're able to do things that you can't do on Earth, according to Alatorre. Because of the weightlessness and reduced gravity, you'll be able to jump higher, be able to lift things, be able to run in ways that you can't on Earth. Space tourism is becoming an increasingly hot topic, and there are several companies trying to make it happen, from Virgin Galactic to Elon Musk's SpaceX. SpaceX's Starship system could help get Voyager Station off the ground. For now, the Space Hotel isn't advertising a room rate, but expected to come with a pretty hefty price tag attached. Virgin Galactic, for example, plans to launch passengers into suborbital space at $250,000 per person per trip. However, the team behind Voyager Station have said they're hoping to eventually make a stay at the hotel equivalent to a trip on a cruise or a trip to Disneyland. Starship culture. While Voyager Station is perhaps the flashiest of Orbital's designs, it's actually just one facet of their space ambitions. The team is also hoping to build research stations and spark space tourism and commerce opportunities. The team imagined government or private companies might use modules for training crews heading to Mars, the Moon, and beyond, as Alatorre outlined at the 2021 live event. The next stage in getting the Voyager Station off the ground is bringing more investors into the mix and continuing with tests on the ground. The eventual goal, as Alatorre put it back in 2019, is to create a Starship culture where people are going to space and living in space and working in space, and they want to be in space, and we believe that there's a demand for that. Looking further ahead, however, interest in the space tourism industry is likely to really take off when space tourism extends beyond Earth orbit, especially if lunar missions become financially and logistically feasible. With that being said, it is worth pointing out that space travel is likely to remain extremely expensive for the foreseeable future. It's also physically demanding, which will mean it'll only be available to people who pass fitness tests and undergo training programs in preparation for their flight. Do you want to become a space tourist? Tell us what you think down below in the comments.